up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody?
What's
How
happening?
was your day? How was your week? How was
How's
your
your life going?
What you drinking there?
You got a little rum and coke.
Little rum and coke. This wine is making me hot. Like, seriously, I'm like on fire.
It's not the wine.
Fire, fire, fire. What was that one song? Fire, fire, fire. You don't know what I'm talking about?
No.
No. Fuego, fuego, fuego. Fire, fire, fire.
No.
Oh, whatever. Shut up.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, everyone, how are you doing these days?
Yeah, welcome. Welcome,
it's been
everybody.
Very interesting.
Another crazy week has passed.
Yes. But, hey, we are alive.
Yeah, we
we're
are.
living. We're ticking.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Heck yeah.
You know, there's always something good.
Yep.
Always something good to look forward to and be grateful for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's going on, babe? What's new?
Started jujitsu again. Started running again. Started hurting again.
I'm sweating. Look, something's up.
Yeah, that's you.
Dude, like totally. It's the wine. It's
I don't
not,
know.
it's the wine. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, started jujitsu. I
got bruises everywhere.
I don't know. I'm just unsure, about that.
Well, it's too late now.
It is. It is.
This is something
But I
that,
told you already from the beginning. I was unsure about that.
Yeah. Well, with the coronavirus and everything that's been going on, we came. Well, so what happened is a friend of mine is getting married, right? And we were the state opened back up last month here in Arizona. And we were just kind of like waiting to see, because we do have the ability to continue working from home and just kind of not really changing things. So we're like, look, we get it. Like having to open back up for small businesses and all that stuff, like I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that we can't just keep doing what we've been doing and see what happens, just to be safe. Like it's not going to hurt us another month, to kind of stay inside or whatever. And that's what we decided to do. And the friend of mine was getting married, and we kind of had to make a decision on because it's after the date that we said that we would reevaluate and kind of get back to our lives. And, but we had to kind of, it's a wedding. You got to say if you're going or not, right? In advance. You can't just like show up to a wedding, so we had to make a decision, and we started, and really not even with like reporters and all that shit. Like I just looked at the numbers, like I didn't look at any newscasts or any of that bullshit. I just went straight to the Arizona Department of Health Services and started looking at all the numbers. Mm-hmm. And I started doing the percentages for myself. And it's like, doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal.
See, and that's you say that, but then I had a signing today with a nurse who is a travel nurse who's been to other states, and she's telling me, how serious it is. And then I get this gut feeling like we shouldn't be doing, or you shouldn't be doing, because I'm doing my signings, but I mean, I'm taking all measures to make sure that I'm protecting me and protecting them and coming home and protecting, you guys, so that if I do catch something that if I touch something I'm not supposed to touch, I'm taking care of all of that before I even step in the house with sanitizer and so forth. So I don't know. I'm hearing these different stories. I'm talking to doctors. I sign doctors. They're telling me the same thing, and I am unsure. I am confused. And I don't know if you going back to jiu-jitsu or us going to the wedding, I don't feel comfortable with it. I just don't. I don't feel comfortable with it. But I know that you want to get your life going again. You want to start running. You want to go to the gym. You want to do, or not the gym, but you want to go to jiu-jitsu. You want to do all the things that you were doing before the coronavirus. And I don't feel comfortable doing that. I just don't.
Okay. So you know what the doctors and the nurses that you're talking to are like? You remember, it might've been like a year ago. Like at my job, I work for a aviation company, a big one. And at my job, they'll have like open houses where you can bring family and friends, and you can take them and show them a tour of the facility. So last year or the year before, we asked our kids, like, hey, do you have a friend that wants to come with us?
Right.
And they were like, sure. So they went and they asked their friend. And Joey invited a friend.
Right.
And we're like, okay, cool. So I'll go pick him up. I'll go pick up Audrey's friend, and then we'll just all go together. They have like food at my work, and they, have helicopters on display, and you can take pictures. And they have the fire department that they have like a mock-up helicopter where they train on putting out fires on helicopters and dragging pilots out of the helicopter if they're stuck or whatever. And so it's cool. It's a family day. They adopt pets and all kinds of stuff that they do there. They have free food. But that day, I went to go pick up, or even before I went to go pick up Joey's friend, you got a text or a call or whatever, and it was the kid's mom asking if the grandmother could tag along to the open house.
And I wasn't going to that open house because I already had something scheduled.
And I'm
for
thinking
the day.
to myself,
I had
like,
plans already.
What the fuck? Like, what do you need to come for? Like, this is my work. I don't even know you. Like, these are kids.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
but you're right. They don't know you either.
I don't. Whatever.
Yeah.
But do you know why? Do you know why she felt like she had to tag along?
No, why?
Do you know what she does for a living?
What?
She's like a social worker for abused, whatever like kids, and like that lady. When I was talking to her, she sees the worst of the worst. So even though I'm a good guy, I'm not gonna fucking sit there and touch their kid or do whatever. Yeah. She feels like she has to go with us because there's fucking creeps everywhere.
Well, because she doesn't know you either.
That's the same thing with doctors and nurses. All they see is the sick people. So all they see is everybody that's sick. But with my own eyes, I haven't seen one person sick.
Well, I know I have my friend Christina and her entire family.
And we talked to my cousin that got sick. And this is the thing. People are getting sick. And people in our age range are the ones that get sick the most. But they're not the ones that die. Okay. So we did all the numbers, and in our age range, all the deaths, or 95%, are 45 and above. And
so 2 years older, and 2 years.
Well, no, and not even that, but even older than, like, the majority of that, over like 90% or 87%, are 60 and above.
Okay.
And that's like, I just did the straight up statistics from the Arizona Department of Health website. And that's just the people that get sick. But out of the population, 0.5% of the people have gotten the coronavirus. 0.5. So I understand.
The numbers are going up, though. Like, every time I sit with someone, like everyone, the nurses, the doctor, they're going up, and you're telling me they're not.
Babe, you need to do your own research. Because all you hear is people talking. So you need to do your own research.
Wow.
And that's what you guys need to do out there, is do your own research and figure out, like, if you live with somebody that's, up there in their years, they're older, then yeah, maybe you need to take precautions. They definitely need to take precautions. But we don't deal with anybody older here at all.
My mom, my dad, I do.
Well, that's the thing.
It's
is that we shouldn't. Regardless. Like, if there's a coronavirus, then we shouldn't. Call, say hi, how you doing? And when this thing blows over, then we'll see you. But there's no reason. Like, they need to take precautions, and that's true. But for us, we can kind of get back to our regular lives. So
you say, okay. I don't know.
Whatever.
Because I don't know. Again, my biggest thing
is
getting it and not
have you looked up anything?
That I have it and not having it.
Whatever,
and then giving it to somebody.
Everybody knows that. Have you looked anything up?
No, because you're the one doing it, right? You're the one doing it.
And what have I told you?
Same.
Okay, so look something up and then tell me why you don't think we should do stuff. But you haven't looked anything up, period. You just talk to people and people scare you. Right? But when I talk to you, I sat down and no.
It's real. Okay, it's a real thing, and it's happening, and people are dying.
Okay. Listen.
And I'm not okay with my kids getting it and then them being alone.
No.
Okay.
Babe, listen. I showed you the numbers in black and white, and I showed you the math in person. It wasn't like I was doing the math behind your back. I did it in front of your face, looking at the numbers on the screen, black and white.
But then you say
it's not hearsay from somebody else.
You don't know what to believe.
I
believe the
do.
numbers that you're looking at?
Well, it's what they have. Yeah, I mean that's the statistics that they've gathered.
But you said people that you don't believe,
and it wasn't just the Arizona website, because I also went to the CDC's website, right? And I did the math on their numbers.
But you said that their numbers weren't reporting correctly.
That's for the recent days, because they're still putting in the test results. Like if you look up the last few days, I think it says anywhere from like the last 4 to 7 days, it's hard to use those statistics because there's still test results that are pending that are going to show up for those days. So those numbers are lower, but they're going to jump up. Like if you look at the testing for today, it's going to be low. But you look at the testing for today, 3 or 4 days from now, it's going to go up because all the results come in and then they put all the data in. That's how it works. But there's also things that I've heard that testing has gone up, which also makes the number of cases go up. It doesn't mean that it's spreading more, but if you test more, you're going to find more. So the cases go up.
So they're testing people right now that are not sick? Is that what you're saying?
No, they have the ability to test more people because they have more tests. So before, where you were sick, or like my cousin, where she didn't get tested, now they would test her. And she would be like,
if she was sick.
like she is not counted probably as a legit corona case, even though she had it. But now they would test, and then she would be one of the cases.
But she's in New York, so
it
that's
matter.
Different.
It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Because if they didn't have the test available, they'll just say, we're pretty 99% sure you have the coronavirus. But we don't have a test to give you, so just go, and if you feel really bad, then come back.
Yeah.
But you don't count.
Either way, you have to do what you feel is right for you and your family. So regardless of what we're talking about, what, our advice, whatever it may be, you do what you feel is right for you and your family.
What I'm saying is, if you're young, if you're healthy, if all you really interact with are young, healthy people, I don't do the research for yourself.
Right.
But for me, I'm like, we can get back to business, back to work. And I'm not saying don't take precautions, go freaking making out with everybody and have people spit in your mouth or whatever. But you can still wear a mask. Like I went to jiu-jitsu yesterday, but I wore a mask today when I went to the store. Like, why the fuck not?
But you're going to jiu-jitsu and you're sweating and all
It's still.
I mean, why wear a mask?
Though,
why wear a mask? If you're doing that, then you might as well just walk out with the mask.
Because I can't do jiu-jitsu with a mask on. But I can wear a mask when I go to the store. So why not?
Yeah. So again, do what you feel is comfortable.
So, on to happier news. All the protests are happening.
I thought that was your. I thought that was.
No, that was me.
I thought that
was. Fucking world's a disaster. Oh man, so crazy. But things are happening, like the protests, the Black Lives Matter, the whole George Floyd thing. I haven't heard it's turning from a George Floyd thing like that. That should still, that kicked everything off. But it's shifting from George Floyd now to really a conversation about Black Lives Matter and injustice and all that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not it's just what we're going through. It's hard, but at the end, I feel that we all are going to be more connected, more aware, and I think it's a good thing. Like I feel that it's a good thing.
And if you guys want to be more connected to us, you guys can go to oppositesattractpod.com or oppositesattractpodcast.com. You can see all the links to our social media. You can see our Spotify, our Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, our YouTube. You can subscribe there. You can also click contact us. You can send us a message. You can also give us a call at 480-912-5128. I'm going freaking blind. I can't even see my own paper now. 480-912-5128 if you guys want to send us a message or give us a call. You can also, if you go to our website, oppositesattractpod.com, you can click on the support the show tab at the top, and it'll take you to our Amazon link. And anything that you buy through Amazon doesn't cost you anymore, but we get a little kickback. And you'll also see a link to Trust Inc.
And Trust Inc., we are a nationwide mobile notary agency. We do a lot of work for title companies, law firms, and individuals as well. So if you have a document that you need notarized, or if you're closing on a home loan and you want to request Trust Inc. to be your company, to do that closing for you, hit us up on our website and we'll take care of you.
Excellent. And we are also affiliates with Libsyn. Libsyn is who we host our podcast with. Libsyn is who the largest podcasts in the world are hosted with. And if you guys want to start a podcast and you want to try Libsyn for free, you can go to libsyn.com, Libsyn. And when you click on sign up, you can enter the promo code OAP, Opposites Attract Podcast, OAP. And that'll give you the rest of that month for free. And then it'll give you the next month for free too. So you can, try podcasting. And if you guys have any questions about that, you can hit me up and we can help you out.
So, do you remember when we used to go, it was for Legal Shield, and we went, I don't know, it's just some kind of dream builder thing that we were doing in Tucson, and we went to go look at these $1 million homes.
It was in Oro Valley.
All that cool stuff.
Yep.
I remember it back in the day, like, that's not something that we would do. That's not something I would do because I thought that it was just too far out of my reach.
Yeah.
And then when I was introduced to Legal Shield, that's when I started to dream again. So today I had a few appointments out in Apache Junction. And I know when you mention Apache Junction, people are like, what the hell, right? Isn't there a lot of crackheads? Isn't it like a really bad area? Oh my God. No, there are some beautiful homes up in the mountains.
Yeah.
And so I was lost today for about 20 minutes. I could not find this home because it was in the middle of nowhere. And so I'm telling you, like, starting to dream big. And I was talking about this on the previous podcast. Like, it's real. And I was talking about how, that I can see us, living in $1 million home.
Yeah.
Like, I can see it now. I believe it. I believe that, one day we will, and whether it's $1 million home or maybe 400,000, but I know that we're going to live in the home that we want to live in. You know what I'm saying? Like our dream home.
Yeah. Like the next house that we buy, well, it'll have the things that we want in it.
Right. But the next house after that will be our dream home. At least that's what I'm feeling.
Different. Anyway.
So I took this picture and I came across this block, and the name of the street is called Loveland. It's on Loveland and Friend. And I'm like, I want to live.
That's your street.
That is our street, man. That's it. That's our street. I'm like, this is where we're going to live. And I took a picture of it.
That'll be our doorbell.
Dude, but it's so cool.
Hey, Sonja, somebody's at the door.
Right? That's such a good idea. But it was so cool. Like, I never heard of it. And I took a picture of it.
Yeah.
And
Friend Avenue and Loveland Lane.
Yes. And I'm like, that's where we're going to live. That's it. But it was super cool to be able to just, because I was lost for 20 minutes trying to find this place, just looking in, areas and being able to dream and really feel and believe that that's where we're heading.
So what are we going to be? What's going to get us there? What's it going to be?
Hard work, self-discipline.
No, is it going to be knowledge. The real estate? Is it going to be
real estate.
Trust Inc? Is it going to be
the
podcast?
It's going to be all of it.
Everything?
Everything
put together?
All of it. Okay. All of the above. The podcast, Trust Inc, and our investments, real estate. And I'm so excited because I can taste it. I couldn't taste it before. I couldn't see it. I didn't believe. Yeah. Now I can see it. I can taste it. Like, it's so close. It's so close.
That's cool.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. No,
it's so exciting. Like,
that's a good thing.
It excites me.
I've done that a few times. Like, it's good to do, is to go to these neighborhoods and, check them out.
I know. But we did that before, and I didn't believe.
But it was this one that we did with Legal Shield was different because we actually got to go inside the houses.
Yes.
And there was one that I remember that just stood out to me, and that was like on the inside. This house was beautiful, man. And I mean, these are multi-million-dollar homes. So The home that stood out to me, I remember it had one of those, like the back was all glass and it had one of those infinity pools, and it was in a mountain. So it's like the infinity pool and then it's just the desert out there. Mm-hmm. But when you walk in, there was like, I don't know if it was plaster or whatever, but it was like a sculpture on the wall, and it was a tree. It was like the trunk of a tree, and then it had like leaves and branches going up the ceiling, and then next to the tree there was a gate. And when you open the gate, they had a freaking wine cellar in there. I was like, dude, this is fucking crazy.
We were dating at the time.
Yeah, we were.
We were just dating.
Yeah, we went to a party in Tucson after that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Dude, that was so long ago. I have pictures of that day.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, you were wearing a red
Hawaiian
shirt.
Yep.
Yeah, but see, back then I didn't believe. It was way out of my reach. I couldn't see myself living in a place like that.
Yeah.
Today I can. It's different.
But that's good. And then we've also been, to different dealerships and check out like really expensive cars.
Right.
Like cars that cost more.
Do you remember we got locked in? What was it?
It was a Rolls Royce Phantom.
We got locked in.
It's like a $400,000 car.
We were so stupid.
We're like, excuse me, can you let us out?
No, what it was, I remember we got in the back seat and we're like, let's pretend that we're being.
No, I was sitting in the front seat. This is what happened. You were sitting in the back and I was sitting in the front. And I was like, look, people that buy these cars, they have somebody drive them around.
That's right.
I was like, so I'm going to get in the back with you. So I got in the back, but I think they had the child locks on, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I am not about to crawl over the front of this fucking car. So we had to.
How old were you? You were like 23, weren't you?
Yeah, it must have been like 23, 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24, something like that.
That's so crazy.
Freaking nuts.
That was funny.
Yeah, we had to wait till the salesperson came by so that they could let us out.
All right. See, these are the things when we talk about, like, I'm like, holy shit, we've been together for a long time.
I haven't thought about that in forever.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it comes up like I was looking through some pictures upstairs in an album that we have a while and it came up, but that's not what brought this up. I was just thinking back, like reminiscing, like when we were going through that, or going and dream building, and how I felt that day, and I just wasn't there yet. Today I walk into multi-million-dollar homes to do their signings, and man, I walk in and it blows me away, and I feel it. It's like it does something to my soul. I feel it from head to toe. I feel it.
Yeah,
maybe not $1 million home, but a home that will fit us.
The price doesn't matter. It's what we want. It's going to be what we want.
Right. It's what we want. Yeah. And that's what I want to be able to give to our kids. I want our kids to believe. I don't want them to think that it's out of their reach. Yeah. I want them to believe in themselves, that they can, achieve whatever it is that they want, that they can have everything that they want, but they have to work for it. They got to work for it.
They got to see it.
And that's what I've been talking to them about. Yeah. Mommy's been busting her ass.
Yeah.
But
so for those,
this is why.
So right now we're recording this podcast, and it's like 10:30 at night on Friday. And and the reason we're recording this at 10:30 at night is because you've been working all day. Like you didn't get home till 8 something, and it
wasn't 8.
You ran and got dinner.
Yeah. It was like 7.
I don't know.
Something like that.
Anyway, it was almost 8. And you ran and got dinner, we ate, and then I was setting up the podcast, and then now it's like after 10 and we're recording, but it's what you got to do. But one thing like I said, it's because you're working. So for those of you guys that are listening, if you're trying to get ahead, you gotta, if you're with somebody, if you're married or you have a significant other or whatever, one thing that you can do, or one thing that we've done is, obviously we're partners, we're married, but it's almost like a business.
Are you going to say a fucking business relationship?
It's a
I just cussed. Yes, I did. Are you fucking calling me a business partner?
No, but it is.
If that's what you want, I'll give you a business partner.
No,
for real.
We talked about this a little bit on the last podcast, but it was like we did have the conversation where we can't have it to where both of us have jobs, because a job is a great place to start, but a bad place to finish.
Yeah.
You can retire But
man, it
where
depends.
we want to be, I mean, I don't know.
It's different for everybody.
But what we decided was that I'll work and you work a business, not a job, a business, something that doesn't have a ceiling, something that is ours, something that we own. And we made that decision that.
Well, with Legal Shield, we made that. You're like,
yes, but with, I mean,
the vehicle that will get us.
It came from Legal Shield, but it wasn't just Legal Shield. It's everything. Mm-hmm. It's like we know that a job's not going to get us to where we want to be. So we consciously talked about it and decided that I'll work a job and you're not going to work a job. Like, you're going to do what's going to change our family's history. And it's been working. And that's something that you guys can sit down.
So no pressure whatsoever.
Well, this is no. But this is the thing is that, and for some people, you may have to get a job. Like, you may both have to get a job to make ends meet or whatever. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if you want to change things, I don't know. I just don't see why people shouldn't have their own business. Like, if you have something that you're passionate about, a hobby, anything, turn it into a business. Turn it into something. Teach people how to do that. That could be a business. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, I was talking.
Learn to teach.
Yeah.
Learn to teach.
But you got to make that partnership with your spouse, with your significant other, and make sure that you guys are on the same page so that you can get to where you want to be. Right?
Miguel's trying to turn me into his sugar mama.
I'm trying to.
Trying, motherfucker. I've been. What do you mean?
It's been working. It's been working. I bought a new air compressor today, by the way.
What?
Hell yeah.
What?
I'm just dropping cash now. I don't give a shit.
Excuse me, you need to ask.
Bloop, and I just swipe it.
You need to ask.
Yeah.
You just bought something without telling me?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what we're doing today? Is that what we're doing?
That's it. I need that sound, the cha-ching sound.
I'm going to have to give him, I know. I'm going to have
register.
to give him an allowance, right, women? Give him an allowance.
No allowance for me.
No, but for us, like we're
true,
not
right?
about that. No, but we needed a compressor.
No, like mine broke. It went out.
So no, we needed one, but for reals, like I'm busting my ass right now so that we can stash cash, so that we can, whether it's an investment property or investments, whatever it may be, it's not to buy. Or try to keep up with the Joneses, buy things that, that's not what we're trying to do.
It's never that. Like, we don't really care.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not about that. It's not about keeping up with anybody, the cars, the house, whatever. Like really, the reason that we bought this house is because we got a great deal on the house.
Right.
And we drove our realtor crazy. We drove
She's
her.
amazing.
She was great.
She was very patient.
But she straight up, the thing is that there was a misunderstanding at first.
Yeah.
And the thing is that people fall in love with houses and they're ready to sign. Like, people fall in love with houses, they fall in love with cars, and they're ready to sign whatever. They don't. All they look at is the monthly payment, and it's like, if I can make that, I don't care.
It's an emotional decision for most people. And when Miguel and I decided that we were gonna start shopping for a home, which it was all me. I went to a friend's house. I fell in love with her home, and all of a sudden, I told Miguel one day he had some time off of work, and I had, I was free for the day, and I'm like, hey, let's go look at some houses. That's what it was. I knew what I was doing, man. No,
you didn't.
I didn't. You're right. I didn't. But we just went to go look, and it just, from that day, we just continued to look, and we ended up.
No, what happened was, I decided. I was like,
let me tell you what happened.
No, this is what happened. I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to work today. And I took the day off. And then you were like, you know what I used to like doing? I like going into the model homes and checking them out.
How do you remember everything? So
we decided, like.
Why do you have to make my story look bad because you know all the damn details?
No, I'm just saying this is what happened. So we were like, or I don't know what happened. Like, we just started driving, or I don't know if you knew a neighborhood. And we were like, let's go, or I know a place, so let's go check it out. Mm-hmm. So we went and we started looking at the model homes. And then I don't know if you had a question or something, and you called the realtor friend that you know.
Leela. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you can't, like, you're pretty much telling the builder that they'll be your realtor. Like if you're walking in and signing their paper saying that you're going to look at the houses, they're pretty much your realtor now. So if you want to look at them, but you want to use me as your realtor and I can show you all the houses, then let me know and I'll take you and I'll show you around. So then she started showing us houses.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were saying, like the emotional buy of the house, like
we weren't having it.
We knew
what we wanted and what we were looking to do.
The reason that we were driving her crazy was because we were learning as we were going too. Because at first we weren't looking in the neighborhoods that we should have been looking in.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't looking at houses that we should have been looking at. And then little by little, we started figuring stuff out through the process. And we would walk into a house and we're like, whoa, like this is beautiful. Look at this. Look at that. And she's like, you guys like it? We're like, yeah. You want to put in an offer? No.
Because we were looking in Levine. We were looking near South Mountain.
There's people everywhere.
Levine, Arizona, sorry. And then we were looking, in South Phoenix, but where South Mountain is.
So not the greatest areas.
Not the greatest areas. But we were just looking. And
for those of you in Ireland.
The homes were beautiful and pretty good prices.
Yeah, because they're not in the greatest neighborhood.
Right. But and you could buy more home for your money though.
But you said something that like made a lot of sense to me because we knew these neighborhoods. Well, we lived in those neighborhoods. And like there was some really nice houses.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, where, like the hood is like right there.
Right. Like it's a beautiful bubble. Like the neighbor.
It's like south of this street is super nice.
Yeah. And it's gated.
North of this street is hood as fuck. Yeah. You got crackheads everywhere. You know, it's just
crazy.
they keep it real.
It was north. So the house was
we were
looking were south by South Mountain.
So you were telling me, you're like, if people are going to steal some shit, where do you think they're going to steal shit? They're coming to this side of the street. And I was like, oh, fuck, you're right. You know? So that's when we started looking in different neighborhoods. But by that time, we kind of knew the price of the house, like where it had to be on the market, what it had to have. And then this one just kind of came up.
Yeah, it was meant to be. It was a short sale. It was a great buy. It was a great business investment.
Yeah.
That's what it was, a great business investment. And we liked the home. We liked the area. We liked the schools. So it was just great. Anyway, so if you're looking for a home, don't be an emotional buyer. Do not be an emotional buyer.
Whether it's a home, whether it's anything.
Whatever it is. Yes. Yeah. Because a lot of people do. They buy it, and their emotions are involved, and later on they end up taking the car back. No, but I've done that before.
Well, cars are number one. Do not get don't do emotional shopping with cars, man, because they will put you in a hole.
Yeah,
big time. And houses too, depending on the market and where you're at. I mean, it could do the same thing.
We're not experts. We just made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, we've made the car mistake. You've made the home mistake before.
By refinancing and then paying off the car. Oh, forget about it. Dude, I was young. I was only like 24.
That is
25.
You learn what not to do.
Right. Totally. Yeah. That's why we're doing so good right now.
Yeah, from mistakes.
Mistakes. That's it. It's all good. Lessons learned, people. Lessons learned.
Yeah. So last week we were talking about how the business is kicking off. I'm working. The kids are like, everybody's busy as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to grow the podcast. We're trying to grow the business. We're trying to do all kinds of stuff. And we just don't have the time. Like you were talking about, something's got to give. That's what you were saying last week. Like something's got to give. If the business takes off, you start to lose that balance because now you can't go to the gym because you're taking more appointments, because you're doing more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like something has to give. So I was kind of thinking about, like, actually, I was listening back to our own podcast because I got to make the clips and just, checking out the quality of the podcast or whatever. And I was just listening to us talking and I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit. It's like, it is what it is. Like, that's kind of like what we were saying. Like, that's just what it is. Like, the business takes off and there's nothing you can do.
Well, we were also talking about family and all that.
What you were saying, we were talking about how it's just so busy and it's hard to even get to the gym anymore.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit. It really is. Because if it's a priority, then you'll wake up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like for real. If the podcast is a priority and we have things that we have to get done, then you get up an hour earlier and you do what you have to do. You get those push-ups in, you get the run in, you sit down in front of the computer and you write the book.
But something else is going to slack.
Yes,
I was up today at 5. I was up before you today.
You know what will slack? Is watching TV at night, because you'll be too tired and you'll just fall asleep. That's what will slack.
Well, I don't know. Like I said,
you can wake up early and get your stuff in.
Yeah.
You know? I'm
so
just
is that
saying
what you're doing?
That's another Well, I haven't started doing it, but I'm going to start. But I did start running, just not in the morning.
Yeah, we ran together. You like to say I a lot. So we ran together and I thought I was going to die. 2 miles in, and I felt like I was going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you did pretty good. I mean, you kept running. You what the hell did you tell me? What the fuck did you say to me when you were running?
I'm giving birth. I'm like,
you went into fucking giving birth mode while you were running?
Because he was talking to me. Okay, so I remember both of our kids are home births, okay? And here Miguel is, he's hugging me and he's talking to me, and I don't remember what he was saying, but it was annoying me. Like, he was talking to me and I was uncomfortable. And so I just told him to shh. Like, I told you to be quiet, didn't I? And I remember one time when we were taking a run, like, he's trying to motivate me, but what he's saying is it's not motivating me. It's not helping me. It's irritating me. So I just asked him if he could be quiet. I wasn't trying to
motivate you. I would play music.
I'm talking about music. The other time, though, there was another where you're talking. And so when I'm uncomfortable, I just need to meditate. Like, that's it. It's a very, very spiritual thing for me. I got to ask God for help. I'm like, God, I need your help. Bring me some wind to make me keep going. But I just get irritated because I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, so I can't remember what you were saying, but I'm like, shh, I'm giving birth. And I thought you would remember, like, when I was giving birth, I didn't want you to talk to me. I told you just to rub my back. Don't talk to me like I got,
Yeah, yeah.
Like I got this. But that's what that was about.
You did really good on your run.
Yeah. I felt like my head was going to pop off. Dude, I turned red. I thought I was going to, anyways.
So, so we started running, went back to jiu-jitsu. I got beat up for a while. It was fun.
Our daughter...
Yeah, she got a new belt.
She got a new belt. I'm so proud of her.
She went back and got promoted.
She's such a sweetheart. She is. And that girl's competitive. She is way more competitive than me.
Yeah.
She must have got that from you. Because she is. It is good. She's competitive. And when I heard that she, got promoted got a new belt, I was so excited for her.
I know. I was like, I'm never going to catch you if you keep getting promoted all the time. But it's all good. That's awesome. That's great.
How was Joey when that happened?
He was on the other mat because we have 2 separate mats at the school. So they got the smaller kids and then they got the bigger kids. Joey was on the other mat and he yells from the other mat. He's like, good job, Audrey.
Aw, see, that's what I'm talking about.
And I told him when we got home,
that's
because
so cool.
This is the thing. For Joey, he's still learning he's still learning about being happy
when others are winning.
Because if his sister's getting promoted and he's not getting promoted, he's not happy.
Right.
And I told him, I was like, look, it has nothing to do with you. You got to do what you have to do to get promoted.
Yes.
She's doing what she has to do, and she's your sister, so you should be happy that she got promoted.
Yes.
So we've had that conversation a few times with him. And because he has a little bit of a temper and he sometimes gets a bad attitude, he's lost stripes too.
Yeah.
So he's kind of had to regain his stripes. But yesterday when we went, he was like, good job, Audrey. And then we came home and we got ice cream because that's our deal. When they get promoted, I take them out for ice cream. And then
or we take them out for ice cream.
How many times have we taken them when they were promoted?
I don't know, but that's something that we decided.
So I don't think we have ever taken them out when they've been promoted. So anyway. But when we were having dinner out here, I told Joey, I was like, hey, I'm proud of you. Like, good job. Like, I heard you congratulating your sister. I was like, that's what it's about. Yeah. Like, being happy for her. Like, she's happy that she got promoted. You should be happy for her too.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. I was like, that's good.
The other day, when you were working, I decided I had a couple hours off, so I decided to take the kids, and I took them out for ice cream. And I remember going to this house out in Apache Junction where I was lost today, and there were tons of like hills. I mean, what do you call them? Like just
hills.
It's a road, but it's
hills. It's got a lot of hills. It's a hilly road.
And so I knew that the kids would love that. So I decided that day that I would take them. And it was just a really being with them and sharing that time with them. But it was scary as shit too. I was speeding.
Driving the hills?
It was only supposed to be 25 miles. I told her, Audrey's like, Mom, go faster. I'm like, are you kidding me?
How fast were you going?
Pretty fast. It was like 25. I was like going 60.
Holy shit.
But you should have, these hill, I got to take you. I got to take you.
And like butterflies in your stomach. And
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's cool.
So that was, that was fun. That was something that we did. And that's something that I want to do with them, is just taking them, doing things with them that they'll remember.
Yeah.
Building those, I remember one day my mommy came and picked me up, picked us up and took us for ice cream, and then took us out in the middle of the desert, because that's where it's
started driving the
middle
hills
of the desert. And my mom was,
that's cool.
Driving the hills.
That is good.
And I was scared as shit. No, well, they're not going to say, well, yeah, when they were older, they're going to say that. I was scared as shit. And we were all screaming in the car. We were all screaming in the car, and Joey's in the back. Mom, that was so cool. So I felt like the cool mom. So
that's fun.
Yeah, that was really good.
So today we had dinner, and we had a talk with the kids about what's going on in the country, about the protests, and we kind of started it off just like with the history of it, like how it started, and the slavery, and then the civil rights movement, and Abraham Lincoln, and freeing the slaves, and then the civil rights movement, and Martin Luther King, and then what's happening today, and the protests and all that stuff. And it's crazy because they were like, that's happening now. We're like, yeah, that's happening all over the country right now. And we just explained to them like what racism is, or what injustice is. Mm-hmm. Not just racism, but injustice. Like, we explained it to them. And, it's one of the things that, like, I've told them before about practicing jujitsu. It's crazy, man, because I talk about it all the time. But there are a lot of benefits. There's a lot of benefits besides just the martial arts. Like just being able to kick somebody's ass if you're in trouble. But I tell them, like, hey, if you see somebody being mean to somebody for any, like, because your friend's black, or because your friend's Hispanic, or if your friend's white, because you can't, you can get picked on.
Yes.
You can just because you're white doesn't mean that somebody can't be racist towards you.
Right.
Yes. It doesn't matter. But if somebody just says something mean because of something they can't control, you can stick up for them. Stick up for that person. And that's, and being able to say, because it's different when you say something, but when you know that you can say something and back it up, it's different. It's different. Like when you stand up to somebody and you feel like, I might get my ass kicked today. Mm-hmm. It's not the same as when like, you're like, hey, you stick up for somebody, and you're like, and if you try something, you're going to be in trouble, And that's just, we talk to the kids about, just about all that stuff. And how we're Hispanic, but we didn't choose to be Hispanic. They didn't choose to be Hispanic. Mm-hmm. And for Joey, he's so confused because he's so white. And he's like, I don't even know what happened with me.
My name's Jose.
He's like, I'm white as shit. I got light skin. I get burnt. I got light hair.
I know.
And my name is Jose Ramirez.
Jose Nicolas Ramirez. You're slacking, man. You're fired already. That's funny.
But yeah. So no, we talked to them about all that stuff, and they get it. They understand. It's crazy because we were kind of thinking about, like, we never had to have that talk. Like, nobody ever had that talk with us. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, what's wrong with having that talk with them? It's just to kind of make sure that they understand, you know,
Yeah.
not in a bad way or anything, and not to put anybody down or, you know, the police officers or whatever. And that's another talk that we'll have also with, because it's a long conversation. It's just not one time sitting at the dinner table, because it's complicated and there's a lot of different things to it. You know, the abuse of power, and, you know, we don't want them to think that police officers are bad, because they're good, you know, for the most part. But you also have to have respect. Like, you can't be disrespecting police officers, because they do, you know, you get the wrong one on the wrong day and you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, we'll have those talks with them at a later time, and we'll let you guys know what's going on.
I've been having a lot of deep conversations with him.
Yeah.
And with Joey, he just seems like he gets it. Like, he understands. Like, at times I feel like he's too young to understand. But like this morning when you guys were sleeping, he came down and we were sitting here in the office, and I was on the office chair, and he came in and I wrapped him around me. Like, he sat on me, like when he was a
like
baby.
He's straddling you?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just talking to him about just being kind, and, you know, how, you know, treating people with love, and just talking to him. And it seems like he just understands. Like, even though he's young, like, he's aware. Yeah. He gets it.
You know who doesn't get it? The president. Oh my God. Like, I don't really get into politics. I really don't even know. I don't follow politics too much. But when I do listen to the president talk, there's times when I'm just like, you know, yeah, I get it. That sounds good. That makes sense. Oh, come on. Like, why would you say that? Why would you, like, he starts out, like, when the whole protest and all this shit, you know, started, he's like, I stand with the protesters.
Yeah.
And the rioters, and then he said something about fucking shoot, like, I don't know, the bullets
fly. He has diarrhea of the mouth.
I'm like, dude, you were doing so good. You were doing so good. If you would have left off that fucking last part, I was like, oh my God, you just fucked that up. And then he'll start talking about something else, and I'm like, okay, all right. Come on, dude. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? It just seems like he goes on and then he just fucking goes off the rails. I'm like, God.
Yep.
But
he has diarrhea of the mouth.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But
do you know?
What's up?
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna keep talking, like, the protests, and for those of you that don't know, there's some stuff going on in Seattle right now.
Yeah, that was nuts. Like, I wasn't aware. I heard a little something. I've been staying off social media, but I heard a little something, but I wasn't aware of what exactly brought it to my attention.
So there's like a town in the city of Seattle. It's called Capitol Hill, and I guess the protesters pretty much pushed the police out of their precinct in that town, in Capitol Hill. And they've kind of the protesters have taken over like 6 blocks in that town. And that's like their headquarters. Like, they've barricaded it up, and they just got all kinds of people, and it's like a cop-free zone. Like, they're not allowing cop, like, they've boarded up the police station. Actually, the police, instead, in the police, it says like Seattle, where it says police department, they've spray painted over that, and it says the people's department or something like that. And like, there's just videos of them, you know, saying like, this is like, we're going to police ourselves and we're going to hold ourselves accountable. And, but it's kind of hard to believe the media, because the left-wing media is kind of saying like, that's a utopia. Like, everything is great there, and, you know, they don't have police and they're doing great. They got, you know, food for people. They're cooking out and they're singing songs and they're doing art, and it's like a safe place, you know, but they're taking care of each other. But then you look at the right-wing media and they're like, yeah, but when it turns nighttime, then people start coming out. And then it's like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what's happening, but they have taken over 6 blocks, and that is their spot now.
That is so
for
crazy.
Now. And the problem that they're having is, I guess, the mayor, I don't know what they're doing about it, but the president is saying, like, if the mayor doesn't do anything about it, he's like, I'm going to go and take the city back. So who knows? And he's kind of crazy, so he may do that shit. I don't know. But I don't. From what I've heard, he may not have the power to actually do it. So I don't know. But that is a thing that's happening right now. It's freaking insane.
What do you do?
But yeah, Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. So they're calling it Chaz in Seattle. Freaking crazy. And on Reddit is like a popular internet. I don't know. It's like where people post blogs or what. Like there's like a bunch of different topics. Like you can look up there like science or gaming or whatever. They have all kinds of shit on there. But it's a big website online. And one of the founders of Reddit resigned. And he said that what was his name? Alexis something. But he was one of the board members, one of the board members and founder, and he resigned and said that he wants his spot filled with a black person. And his daughter's black. He's married to a black woman. And he's like I want to do something, you know? So he decided to resign, and he said that he wants his spot filled with a black person.
Does he have that authority though?
He's a board member. Well, I don't know.
I want it filled with a black person.
I don't know, but he resigned, and he said that's what he wants to happen. Yeah. Alexis Ohanian, something like that. So, but yeah. What's up, babe?
Interesting.
So I was kind of thinking the other day, Audrey, she went to go play with the neighbor, and she just like left the door wide open. Like not even that it was unlocked. It was unlocked and the door was cracked, and she had just left. And there's so many times when I walk through the house and I'm walking by the front door and the door is unlocked. And
we go to sleep with the door is unlocked.
And a lot of times it's unlocked and the fucking door is open. Like it's not even fucking latched. It's open and unlocked. You know, and
we need to take her back to the hood.
But you know what? You know what made me what it made me think about was like when people talk about privilege, like you hear it a lot, like white privilege. I'm like, what the fuck is white privilege? Like there's broke white people that, you know, they fucking struggle. You remember that comedian, Theo Von? And he was talking about how he grew up in the hood and his black friends are like, look at what you did to us, man. And he's like, you think I would do this to you and then move right in here with you? No, man. Are we going to split this plum or what? You know, he was like, I was broke just like the rest of them. He's like, I wore 2 tank tops in the winter. But like when I was thinking about that privilege, it made a little bit of sense to me when I saw the door unlocked and the door open with our kids. Like they're not going to remember really growing up where we lived before. They're going to remember growing up here. So when things are happening and things are happening in the poor communities, it's going to be harder for them to relate. Do you know what I mean? Because they're going to have the privilege of growing up here. Unlike us, where we've seen that stuff. We've lived it. We've been there. Mm-hmm. They have never been through it. So they can only imagine what it's like. You know what I mean? And I was like, I don't know, like a light bulb kind of went off. It's like, that's the fucking privilege that they're talking about. Because it's not so much like the white privilege or what. Like you can have privilege just based off of your experiences. And for them, they're not going to really understand that, you know, struggling. I mean, they're fucking shopping for hoverboards and they got Transformers coming every other fucking day.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
We did that.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking. What I'm talking about is when there's people that don't have as much money and they're struggling, they're not going to understand what that's like. What it's like to actually be fucking hungry. Mm-hmm. You know, to not have to need help. You know, they won't get that. Because they'll only be able to read about it. You know? So, I don't know. That was just a thought that I was having. So, I was listening to the book A New Earth when I was running. And they were talking about extinction. And they kind of just because of everything that's happening right now. He was talking about like evolution and things that go extinct. He's like, things that don't evolve go extinct. They die. He's like, if you look at the animals, like animals that came from the sea and then they ended up on, like lizards ended up coming onto land and then they would die because they weren't meant to be on land. But if they didn't adapt, like certain animals adapt, and the ones that didn't adapt, they died. They disappeared. And I was kind of like, just because of everything that's happening in the country, like right now is a time where we have the chance to evolve in our country, because things have been great for a while, but when it gets to the point where we need change, and if things don't change, then we might be headed into even more trouble. You know, that's kind of just what it wasn't. That's not what they were talking about in the book, but it was kind of related, you know, with everything that's happening right now. And that was just a thought that I was happening. So I think that's like our country right now is going through that evolution period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where something has to change.
Yep. You gonna say something or what?
The wine chilled me out.
So there was I was listening to this clip from Dave Chappelle, and he was kind of telling the story of his experience with Comedy Central and the show that he had and why he left. And the way he explained the story, we watched it together yesterday. He explained the story, which I kind of want to get that book that he was talking about. It's a book about a pimp, like a straight up pimp. His name was Iceberg Slim, and how he used to like mentally just control his prostitutes. It's freaking crazy. But he pretty much explained exactly how the network was trying to take advantage of him and what they were doing to him through that story. And he kind of,
where is this on Netflix?
No, this was on this I found on YouTube. I don't think it had anything to do with Netflix, but it was on YouTube. And but just the way that he explained the story, man, it was insane. It was insane. Just the whole story was nuts. And you can see how this pimp was able to control his prostitute and get her to keep working and give him the money that she made using her body. And he was like, that's what they were doing pretty much to me at the network. And he said to himself that when he got to a certain point, he was going to leave. But then also earlier in the week, we saw a clip from this guy, Michael Che. And if you guys haven't seen it, look up Michael Che and civil rights or Black Lives Matter, because the way that it's a joke, it's a comedy thing, it's a few minutes long, but the way that he explains it is freaking crazy. Like, I don't even know if I want to tell because it kind of ruins the joke. But anyway, for those of you that, spoiler alert, if you're going to go check it out, you can fast forward this part a little bit. But the way that he ends the joke is he talks about, you know, Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. He's like, this is, when I first heard about the Black Lives Matter, I'm like, why are we singling out the black lives? Like, everybody matters, not just black lives. We all matter. But from what I understand from, you know, the way that it's been explained to me, it's not that we all don't matter. Of course we all matter. Like the black people that are down with the Black Lives Matter aren't saying that all the other lives don't matter. What they're saying is right now they're in trouble. Their community is having a lot of trouble and they need help. So that's why it's the Black Lives Matter. It's not that the other lives don't matter. It's just that we're in trouble and we need help.
Right.
That's why.
Yep.
And he was saying that he's like, it's kind of like if your wife asks you, do you love me? And you're like, baby, I love everybody. I love all God's creatures, you know? And when he explained it like that, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, okay, I kind of get it. But I was just kind of thinking like comedy, like in the past few, and it hasn't been happening recently, but in the past few years, like comedians have been getting attacked for shit that they're saying. You know, like if you say the wrong thing, Tracy Morgan had gotten in trouble before. You know, there's a bunch of comedians that got in trouble for saying things that are fucked up. But that's the thing is that I was telling you too, if you say something fucked up and you're a comedian and it's not funny, you're going to get in trouble. But if you say something fucked up and you figure out a way to make it funny, it's fine. Mm-hmm. It's fine. You can make rape jokes. You can make abortion jokes. You can make suicide jokes as long as they're funny. If they're not funny, then you're going to get in trouble. You know what I mean? And man, like it's crazy because comedy, like the way I've been seeing it lately is like it's almost like a sacred thing because they do really make you think about things in a different way, in a way that makes the light bulb go off. You know, there was a comedy special that we listened to with Brian Callen called Complicated Apes. And if you guys haven't checked it out, it's on Amazon Prime. You guys can get it. But I think that special right now is probably pretty important. Like if you listen to just what he's talking about, the way we treat people, he had a story about immigrants in there I was like, fuck, man. Like we need to send these people back to their country or whatever. And this dude came here and he worked so hard. And he's like, I want this dude in my country. I don't want him to go back. I want him here. You know? And then he ends the comedy special with a joke about judging people that you don't know. Remember, he was sitting next to this lady and she's reading all these tabloid magazines. And then some shit pops off. And, you know, that lady was able to help out. And he was like, holy shit. You know, but he was judging her the whole time, thinking like, oh, look. And then she orders like stuff to eat and he's judging what she's eating and what she's drinking. Mm-hmm. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And it was big, but it's a comedy show, but it forces you to think about things in a different way. And you're there to be entertained. But at the same time, I was kind of like, oh, fuck, man. That's crazy to see it from that perspective. And it makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Complicated Apes on Amazon Prime. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Crazy, crazy times.
Yeah. So, I would like to give out a shout out to all of our new listeners. We got a bunch of new listeners. I know we didn't mention some last week, but Angel Luis Mercado on Facebook. We got a new listener. Zach Sanchez on Facebook. Susan Rasmussen,
mm-hmm.
Sorry, on Facebook. Matthew Van Dyke on Twitter. Our cousin Margarita on Instagram started following us, and Lisa Iman on YouTube. So welcome everybody. Welcome to the podcast.
Clients.
Yeah. So
I give out tons of flyers.
Do you?
Every appointment I go to, I'm like, giving out a flyer. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So little by little, things are kind of getting back to normal. Next week, I got to actually go out for work, go out of town for a couple days. But it's crazy. It's crazy that I have to go out of town for work when I haven't been at work.
Yeah.
It's freaking nuts. But little by little, you're starting to see things open up. And actually, the stores have been packed lately.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. And
I saw some things like someone posted a picture. I think it was Tanisha Morgan who posted a picture and it was like empty.
Ross was empty?
Empty. Like they had, do you know what BOGO stands for?
Buy one, get one.
I didn't know that shit.
You didn't know one? You didn't know that?
What? I'm like, what is that, a brand? I'm thinking to myself, what is that, a brand?
Is that like
a
Gucci?
BOGO brand?
We're going to start the brand BOGO. That's funny.
I'm like, well, I don't go shopping much, right? No, for reals. Like I don't. I'm like not, I used to, but now it's usually, groceries. With all this going on, it's groceries. But even before, I wasn't really a big shopper. Not since I had kids, like things adjusted. If I go shopping, it's shopping for the kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I found out what BOGO meant. I went to we went to Famous Footwear, and I'm like, BOGO, what the
hell does that mean?
BOGO.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for being with us. Thank you for following the podcast. Make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpod.com and you guys can follow the show. You guys can check out Trust Inc. at trustincUSA.com. You can follow us at Opposite Pod on all our social media, or you can just Google Opposites Attract Podcast and you'll be able to find us. Thank you for being with us. And you got anything before we get out of here?
That's it. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.